Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Quincy Board of License Commissioners meeting on October 11th at 4 p.m. I will read into the record the open meeting law. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Sue, can you call the roll?
Inspector Anderson for Director Duca.
Present.
Chief Jackson.
Present.
Chief Keen.
Present.
Inspector Marvel for Commissioner Council.
Present.
Chair Crystal.
Present 5 members. We do have a quorum, and I will get right to agenda item number 1. Hearing regarding the request of the Quincy Chamber of Commerce for a special use permit liquor license for their annual winter market at Kilroy Square on the weekends of November 25th through the 27th and December 2nd through the 4th. Tim Cahill, thank you for being here.
I don't have my podium, so I have to have a hand. I just have some handouts. It's just the Kilroy Square site plan, just so you can see if you have any questions in terms of how things are going to be set up. But we're here to ask for two things: permission to change the hours of the current beer garden, which usually run from 3 to 9 to just 12 noon to 6, only on Fridays through the rest of October, which is 3 more dates. So it will run concurrently with the farmers market, which will also be running it. So same operation with food by the Townshend, beer by Widowmaker, and it would be for the final three Fridays of the farmers market. And no more Thursdays. We've already discontinued those, and no more Saturdays.
What were the hours again?
Noon to 6, basically till sundown.
Okay.
And then, in addition to that, we're asking for permission to update you on the plans for the Christmas holiday market. As Chairman Crispo said, it'll run from 2 weekends, November 25th, which is the day after Thanksgiving, and coincide with the tree lighting out here at the Hancock Adams Common, from 4 to 9 on Fridays, and from 11 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays for those 2 weekends, the 25th to the 27th and the 2nd to the 4th. It's going to be similar to last year, which we had a very successful sort of kickoff in Kilroy last year for 2 weekends as well. Just for your information, so the handout I gave you was the site plan. If you're looking from Cottage Ave, the bottom of the page, the tent that we have ordered runs the length of the bottom half of, or the bottom 2/3 of Kilroy. It's 30 feet wide by 120 feet long. So it'll run basically from the spot at the end of the trees where Cottage Ave is basically up until where the doorways are of the parking garage. So you'll still be able to access Hancock Street and the alley to Cottage Ave, as well as the tree. As the street. And then near the gallery, which is at the top of the page, we'll have a Christmas tree lit up like we did last year. And what we hope to do in the gallery, would ask for permission to have some food vendors inside, which would be like we had last year, mostly bakeries. We would add this year the food truck, the Kilroy Square food truck, as well as Widowmaker. So we'd like permission to get, for those dates, to have basically the beer garden to be inside in the gallery, or a limited version of the beer garden, smaller version. We also have a Boy Scout Troop 42 set up to sell Christmas trees and wreaths on the left-hand side, basically, of the page, so opposite the Christmas tree, so going towards the General Dunford Drive, which is the other exit to the garage. I don't know if they need permission or we need permission for that, but we'd like to have them, and we've set it up so that they can come in and sell Christmas trees to raise money for the Quincy Boy Scout troop. We also want to give people who come an opportunity to basically have everything they need for the holidays, including trees or wreaths. So it's a win-win for us, and it helps the Boy Scouts. They're trying to raise money for a trip to Iceland next year, so this will help them do that. And one other request I have before this board is the ability for people who purchase an alcoholic drink, a beer or a glass of wine or a beverage, to take that beverage into the tent and shop. So if that's possible, which I know is you know, it would be contained inside the tent, and they would only be able to go from the gallery to the tent and do some shopping if that would be allowed by this board. So that would be my one, I guess, different, because right now our space is cordoned off and it sticks to the top near the gallery. This would expand it, but it would be inside the tent, not outside the tent. People can sip and shop while they shop.
Sip and shop.
Sip and
Sounds
shop.
like a t-shirt. T-shirt.
Again, we're using the vendors that we've used all, basically the bakeries that have been coming to the farmers market, as well as a couple of local bakeries that have shops here in Quincy. The food truck that has been at Kilroy Square all year, as well as the beer garden that has been there all year. And they've done, I think this board's had no complaints on any issues. They've done a great job of not only running it successfully, but managing it and keeping problems to a minimum. Even Mary Cahill seems to be happy with the outcome and the condition that we leave Kilroy in each week. Not always, but we work with her and her team to make sure, and the mayor's team to make sure that the Kilroy Square is as nice when we're done with it as we found it at the beginning of the year, and I think we've done that. You don't hold me to Alba's Armenian Day party, because I wasn't responsible for that one. But Kilroy Square has worked out phenomenally well for not only for our event, but the blockchain event that took place a couple weeks ago, and the Alba anniversary event that took place, I think, a week ago. So it's worked out extremely well, and we're happy to not only use it ourselves, but invite other members of our chamber and outsiders like farmers from all over Massachusetts to take advantage of it. It's been a great year so far. We've been blessed with good weather. And again, very little in any kind of problems, parking problems or traffic problems, or mostly importantly, alcoholic problems. So we'd like your permission to do it again this year and be bigger and better. But we think we have a pretty good sense of how to operate it even more efficiently than we did last year.
It's a good use of the space.
It's an excellent use of the space. It brings people, not just for the events on site, but it brings people to the restaurants and the businesses in Quincy Center. And we expect to do a lot of that during the holidays. It's hard to replicate what used to be in Quincy for shoppers. So we're trying to give people a small taste of that. We've got, the tent right now is completely full. There'll be at least 25 vendors each night. So all 6 nights are booked. We've got a waiting list, really solid, good vendors that either have been with us or are new to the scene here in Quincy. And a few of them, a number of them are looking for permanent spaces in Quincy, which is our long-term goal, is to introduce them to Quincy and then hopefully get them to take some of the empty retail space that's along Hancock Street and in the vicinity of Quincy Center.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Does anyone here have any questions or concerns about the Quincy Chamber of Commerce for a special use permit liquor license for their annual winter market? Seeing none. Board members, any questions, concerns? Seeing none.
If I could just ask
Yes.
one quick question?
Of course.
Good afternoon. The food vendors, are they all, I know you said most, are they licensed already through, are there any coming from, say, outside of, say, the city to,
Yeah, they have to have a license.
Right, just wanna make sure
A
that-
commercial license.
just give us a call? That's
And
all.
we'll provide that
All
for
right,
you,
very good.
so that they can do it. And again, we're not allowing, other than the township, no one's making food, they're bringing it with them from their bakeries, and just selling the product as is. So there will be no preparation, only preparation will be in the food truck itself, which will be parked right outside.
You need two motions. Change the hours. and then-
It was just an update for the Kilroy Square hours,
Okay.
but just the motion on
Okay. Madam Chairwoman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of the Quincy Chamber of Commerce for a special use permit liquor license for the annual winter market at Kilroy Square on the weekends of November 25th through the 27th and December 2nd through the 4th. Represented by Tim Cahill.
Second.
the, all in favor?
Aye.
Tim,
Thank
you're
you.
all set. Good
Thank you,
luck.
thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Good
it.
luck.
Agenda item number 2, this is continued from September 27th. Hearing regarding the request of Boyce Realty LLC for lodging home licenses for the properties located at 30 Bigelow Street and 20 and 22 Bigelow Street due to a change of ownership. These are existing licensed lodging homes, and they've been sold to a new owner, Michael Boyce. Thank you. Why don't you tell us
I
about...
currently have 77 Cleverly Court, so I've had it since 2009. So I'm looking to obtain 2 more, which is 22 and 30. Everything will stay the same licensing, et cetera, same permits. So I'm familiar with the process, so I'm just looking at getting 2 more units.
Good, thank you. Anyone have any questions, concern regarding Boyce Realty LLC for lodging homes at 30 Bigelow and 22 Bigelow? Seeing none. Board members, questions, concerns? No, you get your inspections, all the
Yeah,
paperwork's
yeah.
done, we appreciate that, and looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Boyce Realty LLC for a lodging home license for the properties located at 30 Bigelow Street and 20 to 22 Bigelow Street due to an ownership change. Represented by Michael Boyce.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All set, thank you.
Good luck.
Agenda item number 3, hearing regarding the request of Oya LLC doing business as Oyi for a common vicular license for the premise located at 667 Hancock Street. Proposed manager Yahan Chen. Proposed hours of operation are 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Attorney Mihiu. Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Mei Hui Hu. I represent the applicant. And this is a simple change of ownership. There's no change of the kind of a service that we're providing. It is still a tea shop. There's not going to be any renovation done because the existing owner, they've done a fabulous job. Just unfortunately that their menu is not welcomed by the patrons, and hopefully what sets us apart would attract the kind of patron we'd like to serve. What sets us apart is that in addition to the regular bubble teas and flavored teas and imported tea from China, we use a lot of coconut products. Coconut is known as the superfood, so to speak. So in addition to getting a afternoon drink to relax, we hope that we can also provide a little bit of health benefit to our patrons. So that's the gist of it.
Thank you. Anyone here have any questions, concerns on Oya LLC doing business as OYE for a common victual license? Seeing none, board members, any questions, concerns?
Can I just?
Yes, of course.
Good afternoon. Real quickly, I would just, we would recommend that you just send a copy of your menu that you will just and submit it to the Quincy Health Department, just so we can take a look at it, okay? Are you
Of
planning
course.
on serving food there, or what?
No food.
No.
It's drinks, some dessert. I think it would be similar, in line with the existing operation.
All right. Like I said, just would ask that they would check with the Quincy Health Department prior to opening, okay?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Oya LLC doing business as OYE for a common victual license for the premises located at 667 Hancock Street. Proposed manager Yahan Hu Chen. Proposed hours of operation 11 to 9. Represented by Mi Hai Hu.
Second.
Was that
All in
close?
favor?
Aye.
No, you got it.
You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next is agenda item number 4, Hearing regarding the request of cafe services for a common victual license for the cafe located in the building at 2000 Crown Colony. Proposed manager Michael Lewis. Michael, how are you?
Excellent, how are you?
Good, thank you. Why don't you tell us about the cafe?
So we are a corporate management company. We've been requested from SS&C to reopen the cafe, the existing cafe, they're estimating about 200 people in the building. So it's going to be pre-order, come down, grab bag with your name, also grab and go items, and I believe the deli will be open. You can walk down and get a sandwich. So it's going to be much smaller in scale than was originally there. A lot of the serving we will not be using. A lot of the back kitchen we won't be using, at least at this stage. Hopefully they can bring some people back to work and we can expand our operation.
Thank you. Anyone here have any questions, concern regarding cafe services for a common victual license at 2000 Crown Colony? Seeing none. Board members, questions? Yes.
Quick question. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
When do you plan on opening? Do you have a?
We are still uncertain.
some-
Hopefully,
Okay.
we're hoping by the middle of November. I know building was out, there was a couple of things that they need to address. I believe they said fire was out, and that was at least one thing they needed to address. So I know the client is working on those because that's their responsibility. But yeah, at this stage, it's gonna be probably another few weeks at least. I know they said to reach out a couple weeks before we're ready to open, to have you guys come out and do a pre-opening inspection.
Right. The same thing as we said earlier, probably a menu, I'm sure.
Actually,
probably
should,
just-
I know I did submit everything
Okay.
online, yep,
Fair enough.
actually, we have a manager,
Okay.
all of the certificates were attached to that as well as the menus.
Very good, thank you.
No problem.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of cafe services for a common victual license at the cafe located in the office building at 2000 Crown Colony Drive. Proposed manager Michael Lewis, represented by Michael Lewis.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Agenda item number 5, hearing regarding the request of Neon Nail Spa at 464 Washington Street for a one-day beer and wine license on Friday, October 14th, from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. to offer clients champagne in celebration of their one-year anniversary. Dong Ying.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. How about you?
Why don't you tell us what you're planning on doing for your celebration?
Oh yes. Thank you very much for having me here today. And we celebrate our first anniversary. So I'm looking for the permit to service our clients. At beginning, just only one day of this week, but we try to extend it for another, every Friday or Saturday until the end of this month, so we can have a little bit service our client with a little bit champagne or red wine or white wine. So it's not too much like crazy. Just maybe 1 cup of a champagne. That's all. Yeah, and just a little bit in time to for our client to have a little bit fun and yeah.
For the anniversary celebration?
Yeah, just few days of this month.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And on Fridays?
Either
Is it-
Friday or Saturday, that the most busy days. So we just want to set up a small table, yeah, with a little bit drink.
Just for your clients, just for your customers?
Yeah, just for the customer only. Yeah.
Any questions, concern regarding Neon Nail Spa at 464 Washington Street for one-day beer and wine license for the rest of October?
Yes, please.
For the rest of October on Friday and Saturday, that being the 14th, 15th, 21, 22, 28, and 29. 6 licenses. Seeing none, board members, any questions, concerns? Seeing none, looking for a motion.
Madam Chairwoman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Neon Nail Spa, 464 Washington Street, for a one-day beer wine license on Friday, October 14th, from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. to offer clients champagne in celebration of their one-year anniversary. Also, I'd like to extend that. Do we need 6 different motions, or we can?
No, just one.
Just one motion for the dates of, what did you say, Joanne? I'm sorry, Sue. The 14th,
15.
14,
15,
15, 21,
22,
22, 28,
29,
29.
for those dates. And the hours will be 9 to 8.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very much
Good
for
luck.
this, and
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Agenda item number 6, hearing regarding the request of Off the Hook Bar and Grill, 1269 C Street, for an extension of their licensed premise for their second annual Oktoberfest celebration starting at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday, October 15th. The event includes live music from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. John Galligan. Welcome. Why don't you tell us about your Oktoberfest celebration?
Good evening, everyone. Well, afternoon, but thank you for having me up here. This is going to be the second annual Oktoberfest at Off the Hook. You know, we really try to create some of these events that, you know, draw in from the local community to be able to give back to customers who've been coming down, you know, all year long, and draw new people down to the area. Last year, it was a beautiful day. I think everything was successful throughout the day. Live music, food, entertainment throughout the evening. So we're basically looking to replicate that. There's also the Housing Net Community Council is having an event down at Brill Field, so we're looking to kind of draw off of that with families to come back to us after to continue, you know, what they're doing down there and celebrating the neighborhood. But a very simple setup, very, you know, on the same basis of what we did last year. You know, setup would be around 10:30 to start blocking down the street. Would be getting stanchions from the city, from the parking department. I also use pendants to kind of rope the area off as well. We leave the sidewalk on the parking lot side of the Maritime Center, the Maritime parking lot. We leave that sidewalk open for anyone who has to still, you know, walk by foot traffic. Typically, the street itself has about 12 high top tables. We're using Rentall Boston for that. 24 chairs, so just a few chairs at each table. We try to leave things, you know, that if there's ever an emergency in the area that we can move and grant access to anyone that has to get by, even though there still is access coming around the other way. The bar itself that we would have up there, pop-up tent, folding tables, try to keep it very simple with, you know, domestic draft, one German-style draft, and also a sangria as well. Music. Same as last year, we have a traditional German band coming down that starts at probably about 1:30. We have the Redneckers who play in the area often. They're going on about 4. When they finish up right about 6 or 6:30 is when we then try to control the crowd, try to start shutting down the outside area, closing down the bar out there, and getting people back inside. At 7 o'clock, we have another gentleman going on, Mike Brennan, who typically plays a lot of Friday, Saturday nights for us. So at that point, we really try to get the street cleaned back up, get the street open. We don't want to, kind of more of a sunset situation where we can get people back in for safety reasons, of course. And so we don't continue into the evening in the neighborhood. Like I said, street opens back up at about 7 p.m. We won't be serving any food outside. It'll just be drink. If people are looking to do food outside, if they want to do takeout style food, we're going to have something set up at the bar for them that they can go in and order, and, you know, we can serve them, but we're not going to really have servers out there serving them. They'll just be like a walk-up bar service. That's pretty much it.
What street are you taking, David?
So it'll be the Bayview Ave side that runs right along the building.
So same setup as last year, being no use of that extended area on
No.
the right side of your.
No, I'm actually going to try to remove all the tables and chairs from that and utilize those on the Bayview Ave side and keep that side blocked off.
Okay.
Yeah, I've already started shutting all that down for the winter.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns regarding Off the Hook Bar and Grill at 1269 C Street for an extension of their licensed premise for their second annual Oktoberfest celebration? Come on up.
Hello, thank
Hi.
you. My name's Susan Boyd. I live at 117 Bayview Ave. My question is, where will the tent go? When will the tables, I live directly next door, so I'm wondering, will there be a tent in the driveway? Will there be, the high tops, where will they go? When will everything be taken down? Will I have access to, where should I park? How is this gonna impact me? The 7 o'clock band, is that going to be inside, outside? You mentioned a bar outside, is that, I'm kind of confused at what's going on after 7 PM.
Sounds like everything ends at 7 PM.
Yeah.
right? Inside the
It
building.
goes all inside at 7 PM.
And
Everything's broken down on the inside.
the bar is on a roll cart.
Yeah. So there's-
Thank you.
As with the past parties, I know we have had larger tent setups. This is kind of like an open air setup. All we're gonna try to do is just use stanchions and roping to close off the area. The only tent that will be set up is just like one of those 10 by 10 pop-up tents. That's where the bar would be set up under that, which would basically be right in like the corner of the patio on the Bayview outside. Yep, it wouldn't go on to block the driveway by any means.
party.
No, I mean, no, it would be on the Bayview. We would use the section of the street, but it would not, it would stop right at the corner of the patio. You'd have full access to the driveway. As I did for Chowder Fest, I plan on putting blockades up there that says residents only, do not enter, and all of that. And then, yes, the band, the Redneckers, they'll stop at about 6-ish, and then the 7 PM band is inside. And then right about 7 is really, I want to try to clear the street, open it back up, get everyone off the street definitely, and kind of back to normal operation.
Is this one of the 5, we had talked last time about it.
Yeah, no, because he's not using that area.
Okay,
Right.
so this is just a tradition.
Yep, exactly. Thank you.
Hello, Margaret Simone. I am the direct abutter to Off the Hook. I have been there over 30 years, and I've supported this business since I've been there. I have actually put his beer truck in my driveway, which I actually didn't want to do, but he was going to lose quite a bit of business. So I am absolutely for him having this Oktoberfest. I definitely do not want anything on my side of the building, since he built a bar with no licensing. He moved the dumpster with no licensing. He poured a slab for the dumpster with no licensing. The side of my building had 7 20-foot trees. The only thing that was on that side of the building was an emergency exit alleyway door only. And the Chowder Fest was there, and he had the bar open. He had everyone on that side. I have a video, and I will play it for you if you'd like, with 12 people. Only 12 people was on this side, okay? I'm talking about my side. Excuse me?
It's not going to be open.
Okay, but I am missing work every time I have to come to this meeting to see what's going to happen next, or if he's going to sneak something in on this side, because how was he allowed to use the bar on the Chowder Fest? Let me know. Because there's a season assist on it from Mr. Duca, and everyone deserves their privacy, quietness. The dumpster stinks so bad, I'm done. Like, I feel like my rights as a citizen of this city have been violated. I'm a property owner, a businesswoman. I just don't go and do things. And if you need something from me, you ask me, and I'll help you. And I always have. And I always will. If he calls me next week and said, I need help doing something, a fundraiser, I will help him. But I don't want anything on that side. I've had enough. This is wrong. And I'm glad that he's keeping everything on this, off of this side for this, because it wasn't for the Chowder Fest. And they're still supporting him, and I always will. That's how I am. But enough is enough here. I didn't build anything. I didn't do nothing wrong. And I'm missing work every time I have to come to one of these meetings. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Any other questions, concerns regarding Oktoberfest or Off the Hook?
I'm just wondering if, is this on? I'm just wondering if there should be like maybe like a diagram or something submitted to the, as far as with the layout at some point, just so,
When I submitted online, there should have been a copy with
Yep.
it on there.
Okay.
But if you need me to
Okay.
clarify it any further,
So just to be perfectly clear, just for the folks that are here, you won't be in the backside of the right
No.
backside of the building. It's all gonna be at Bayview. Nothing will be on that. You're gonna take the table and chairs and use them on Bayview?
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, concerns from board members? Seeing none, looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Off the Hook Bar and Grill, 1269 C Street, for an extension of their licensed premises for their second annual Oktoberfest celebration starting at 11:30 a.m. Saturday, October 15th. The event includes live music from 2 to 6 p.m., represented by John Galligan.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set, John. Thank you.
Good luck, thank you.
Looking for a motion to accept the minutes from the September 27th hearing and waive the reading.
I'll make a motion and waive the reading, to accept the minutes and waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next hearing is scheduled for October 25th. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you.